Welcome to the Idiot's Guide. I'm Mackie Hall, and today we're going to be talking about lined text. Lined text is a great way to add emphasis to your piece. However, in its most basic incarnations, it's really difficult to manage line segment ends, so we're going to show you a new way to do it. With this new way, you're going to be able to manage those lined ends, and you're also going to have the freedom not just to use lines, but other shapes as well. So without any further ado, let's get started. Let's get on with it. Before we get started, I want to remind you that we are using the Essentials layout. You can find that in the top right corner of your screen. We are also using Smart Guides. You can see that by selecting View, Smart Guides, or clicking Control U. Also note that we'll be including additional notes and key command recommendations at the bottom of the page throughout the lesson. Let's get started by creating a new document. Our new document will be 1,000 points wide, 1,000 points tall, with a single artboard and RGB color mode. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to select our rectangle tool and draw a black box starting from the top left corner of our artboard to the bottom right. Next, we'll change our fill to black and our stroke to transparent. Once done, we'll select Object, Block, Selection. This gives us a black background on our artboard. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to select our type, click anywhere on our page, and then we're going to double click on our fill and select any color that's not black or white. I'm picking a red. Once done with that, we will write the word line. We'll select all of our type, and in our character menu or window, if you don't see either of them, you can always go to Window, Type, Character. Again, with our character selected, we will select Franklin Gothic Heavy. Once done, we'll increase our type size to 350 points, change our tracking to 50, then we'll select our menu and select all caps. Once done with that, we'll grab our selection tool and we will center our type horizontally and vertically. If you don't see any of the alignment tools, you can select Window, Align, or Shift F7. Once done, we'll right-click on our piece and select Create Outlines. This will change our text to physical shapes. Next, we'll deselect our type. Next thing we'll do, we'll grab our line segment tool and we'll draw a horizontal line starting at the top of our word shape. Hold our shift key down, we'll draw a horizontal line all the way across our shape, just like that. Once done, ensure that your fill is transparent and your stroke is white. Next, you're going to copy and paste your line segment in front. Hold your shift key down and arrow down your new segment to the bottom of the type. Once done with that, let's select our blend tool, and you're going to click on the left anchor point of your top line segment, and then you're going to click on the left anchor point of your bottom segment. Double click on the blend tool. This will bring up your blend options window. You're going to change the spacing from smooth color to specified steps. Going to select Preview, and let's change the specified steps to 13. Tab off of it, and that's what we're looking for. If you want more or less, feel free to add or subtract to those specific segments. Click on OK. Once done with that, you'll select Object, Expand. What this will do is it will change the blend strokes to actual physical strokes. That way we can edit those strokes. Click OK. Grab your selection tool and deselect. Next thing we'll do is we'll grab our line word shapes and we'll bring them to the front. Once done, we'll select all of the elements we've created on the page and we'll open our Pathfinder window. If you don't see your Pathfinder window open, you can go to Window and select Pathfinder, or you can select Shift Control F9. Once we've got that selected, we're going to go to the bottom right of our Pathfinder window and we'll select Outline. What that just did is it took all of our shapes and combined them into outlines. We'll deselect so we can see what we've done. Let's select our shape again, and let's right-click and select Ungroup. This broke all of our lines up into individual segments. Next, we're going to select one of the segments inside of our type shape, and then we're going to go to the top right, and this is where the magic happens. We're going to go to the Select Similar Objects button and click on that. What that does is it selects all of the elements that have the line qualities. We're going to cut, and then we're going to create a new document. We'll keep all of the same qualities again, 1,000 points wide, 1,000 points tall, a single artboard, and RGB color. We'll create. Again, we're going to create a black background by grabbing our rectangle tool, dragging from the top left all the way to the bottom right, ensuring that our fill is black and our stroke is transparent. Once done, Object, Lock, Selection. Now that we're done with that, let's paste our copied selection in. Once our element has been pasted, we're going to go to our stroke window. If you don't see that, you can go to Window, Stroke, or hit Control F10. Once there, we're going to increase our stroke to 1 point. This is purely for visibility. We'll grab our selection tool and we will deselect. Next thing we'll do is we'll select all the essential lines in our piece. We'll start this by zooming in to our piece. We'll go close to our L. And with our selection tool still selected, we'll drag from top to bottom and grab all of the elements that we intend to keep. We're going to select Cut. We'll drag across the remaining elements of our L, select, and delete. We're going to paste the cut lines in front. Another way you can do this is by selecting individual lines while holding your Shift key down and selecting all of your elements. In this case, it's just as easy to drag from top to bottom, just like that, making sure that I'm not selecting any unnecessary lines. I'm going to cut it again, drag across, delete what's not necessary, and again paste our cut lines back to the front. We'll repeat this process for the N and the E. Let's zoom out to fit all the contents of the artboard onto the screen, and we'll deselect our E. Once we've done that, we've got all of our necessary line segments in place. Next, with our selection tool still selected, we're going to drag across our entire line selection element. Once we've done that, let's increase our stroke to 7. We'll then go to our stroke window and ensure that our caps and corners are rounded. Let's deselect our piece. If you zoom into the end here, you'll notice that our line segments are overlapping right here because of the round caps and corners. In order to avoid that, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to select those ends and join them together. The way we do that is we go to Outlines, and with our Direct Select tool selected, we're going to drag across the anchor points of each segment end, then join them. You can either hit Control J or select Object, Path, Join. I'll do the same thing right here by hitting Control J. Once we've done that, let's leave Outlines. Let's make our entire page visible. And we've got lined text exactly how we want it. Let's do a couple more steps to make sure that this is completely scalable and easy to color. With our selection tool selected, we're going to drag across our line segments. We are going to select Object, Expand. When we expand these line segments, we'll change the strokes to filled objects. That's going to make our object much more easily scalable and easier to color as well. Click on OK, and note if we go back to Outlines that our strokes are now filled shapes. Click off your piece, and let's finish this piece out with some additional text and creating a green to blue gradient from the bottom to the top of our word. Let's start with the gradient. Let's select our shape and double click on our gradient tool. What that will do is that will open the gradient window. With our fill selected, let's click on our gradient. Next thing we'll do is we'll drag from the bottom of our shape to the top of the shape to give a smooth gradient. We'll hold the shift key to make sure it's perfectly vertical. Once we've done that, let's double click on the left anchor in our gradient slider. We'll select RGB and let's change the color to a decent green. That looks good right there. Let's click on the right point of our slider. And once again, let's change to RGB and select a blue. That works right there. Select that, grab our selection tool. Let's deselect our piece, and that looks good. One more step. Let's grab our type tool. We'll click anywhere on our page above line, and let's change our fill to white and our stroke to transparent. Next, we'll write the end of the. Once done with that, we'll select all of our type, go back to our character window, and select Franklin Gothic Book. Once done with that, we'll increase our type size to 48. Then let's increase the tracking to 200. Then let's select our drop-down menu and change our type style to all caps. Once done with that, let's grab our selection tool, and using a line, let's center our type horizontally and arrow it down in place. Looks good about there. Let's click off of it, and then let's select our entire piece. Let's group it together, deselect, and we are all done. So there you have it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. Otherwise, throw me a like. I'd really appreciate that. And I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed as well. We'll see you next time. See you.